welcome back. We are back with another show, guys. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you had a great weekend. I'm pretty excited because it is my birthday coming up on Wednesday. So yeah, I'll be 42. Getting old.
It was mine on Friday. I was
There you
46.
go. Big happy birthday.
Happy birthday, man.
Yeah, got big days coming. I'm even going to do the Bayern Munich watch along on my birthday. That's how dedicated I am. Because it's a 10 a.m. start and the day don't really start till after midday, let's face it. So, but guys, yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good over here. I hope everyone's doing well. You enjoyed your weekend and the lovely English summer we're having right now. Hey, Mac, how you doing, man?
I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad, thanks. And I hope everyone's well in the chat as well. I hope you guys are well.
Good man. Baz, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for having me on. Big up everybody in the chat. Make sure you're smashing the like, comment, subscribing, doing all that stuff. But yeah, big up.
Oh, was it Jen's birthday yesterday? Big up to Jen yesterday as well.
Yeah, big up, Jen.
Big up.
Guys, so as you can see in the title of this is RFSG backing Klopp enough. We're going to talk about that in a bit because there's things I need to say and it might be a bit, controversial as well. It might not. I might fall out of people, but we're going to talk about it. But what we need to talk about first is I didn't actually do the watch along for Liverpool Leicester because I was asleep. Because I stayed up all night to do the watch along with Mr. Cal Sanderson on his channel, Luke Tanner to do the UFC watch along. So I think we finished there around 6:30 in the morning. And I weren't. I don't know how Cal did it on copy. So I think if you could tell by the state of him, he was feeling it. I'm in my 40s, man. I need some sleep. So
He's got Babby as well. It probably woke him up in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 3 of them as well, but thankfully my wife was real cool and left them all downstairs and let me sleep. But I got up around 2 in the afternoon. And I watched the game. I watched the game back in highlights. I haven't really seen the whole the full 90 minutes yet. I've not seen the whole game, but I've seen like an hour highlight show on the Liverpool channel. Guys, what do you think of the game? Baz, what did you think? What stood out for you in the game? What still concerns you about going into the season?
Yeah, I mean, I watched. I missed the first 20 minutes, which apparently we weren't too great. I think we started off really slow in that game. After that, we dominated. The players were just gelling. However, the thing that concerned me a little bit, yes, we didn't concede, but we in playing that inverted, and I'm a little bit worried about that inverted formation. But look, we didn't do nothing wrong in that game. It was just like, it was again training, players getting minutes, fitness building up. Excuse me. And second half was good. All right, obviously we had like a complete different lineup, but we pushed the ball a little bit more forward. We played more direct. We were a bit faster in play. It looked well. The performance was very good. I think we just started off a little slow. That concerns me a little because as soon as the whistle goes, man, you've got to attack it. And no disrespect to Leicester because they've just come out of the Premier League, but they're championship team now. They've lost a couple of players who mean a lot. We should have just attacked them from day dot. But overall, it was a good game. It was a good game. It's probably the better performance in all the games that we've played in the pre-season. And obviously the next game is going to be a huger test. So in terms of name, we'll see what happens. But yeah.
Before I get to K-Mac, so obviously Liverpool just tweeted out that Virgil van Dijk is going to be Liverpool captain going into the new season, and Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to be vice captain. I think we all pretty much guessed that, didn't we? That Trent's going to be Liverpool captain eventually, and that's going to be his role. But I think we all guessed that. Quickly, Baz, you happy with that decision?
Yeah. I expected Van Dijk to take it anyway. I thought Robertson would have got the vice captain, but I'm quite happy to have Trent there because, like you said, he will be the vice captain soon.
Yeah, definitely. K-Mac, your opinion on the game and obviously the Virgil and Trent as the captains?
So I'll start with the captaincy thing. It makes perfect sense because if Virgil's going to be the captain for a couple of years, then Trent's going to be like 26, 27. So it's kind of perfect for him to hand that over to him instead of handing it over to like another old player, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's a little bit. It'd be a weird conversation that him and Robbo were probably going to have on the way in because they drive in together, and Robbo probably thought maybe he was in line to get the vice captaincy, but then when Verge hands it over to the next person, Robbo's going to be like 32, 33, and he might even be at Liverpool then. So it makes perfect sense, and it's also good to have a homegrown local lad get it as well. That's also a nice thing. The game, the interesting thing about it is we won 4-0, and we all know why. It's because we put Trent back as a right back. And he came into midfield in the inverted role, and he just looked brilliant again. And the things I took from it, we've got the best backup goalkeeper in the country by a country mile. Like, Keller is sensational. Like, in the first 25 minutes, he saved 2 really, really point blank shots that could have gone past any keeper. Their type of Alisson saves, they were brilliant. His distribution's fantastic. Like, we should do everything to try and keep him as our backup goalie, because we have a goalie that does get injured every now and again, and I just don't want to see Adrian anywhere near that. Jarrell Quansah looked really good. McConnell looked really good. That 35-minute cameo from Sabolsai, I mean, he showed absolutely everything about himself. Like, you know, he dominated midfield, he tracked back, he did loads of tackling, did a lot of pressing, looked really good. Nunez looks like he's on fire. Like, I just really hope he stays in the centre. Jota's made it a bit interesting now, because could he play left side now? Like, you know, there's nothing that says Jota hasn't got the form to take him straight into the season. And then you've got Gapco, who's just absolutely sensational. Like, you know, cat among the pigeons, what do you do with him now? Like, and my guy Salah just looked like a breath of fresh air. Like, everything he did was fantastic. I really liked it. I know the competition's not fantastic. Like, it's Leicester who've gone down, and, you know, half their team's gone. You know, loads of new coaches and all sorts of stuff that's changing there. But at the end of the day, you know, you've got to beat what's in front of you, and we did.
Yeah, exactly.
Big up, Gav.
Look at this stranger we've popped in.
How are we?
How you doing, Gav? You doing well?
Yeah,
Doing well,
I'm very good. I'm very good. Hey, I'm not at home. Obviously, you can probably tell the background's a bit different. And my laptop, I ain't got my laptop with me, so I'm on my phone and I've balanced it in a plant pot. So you should really appreciate the dedication I've gone to get on this stream.
The plant pot's holding up. The plant pot's holding up. How you doing, Dave? You doing all right, mate? You doing good?
I'm really well. I'm really well. Yeah, I've been really busy with work and everything else. But yeah, live stream is good, and I'm just enjoying watching the football again now. You know, managed to watch the game against Leicester, and it's nice just to see the boys back in action. I'm eager for the Premier League to start again now. I'm ready for a new season.
Oh, definitely. I can't wait for the footy to start. So, Kev, you probably heard. Liverpool just made Van Dijk the captain officially and Trent as vice. Thoughts? Right decision?
I think so. What I would say is I think there's many leaders in our squad. I don't think it all boils down to just one man. We know about the sort of inner captains group. I think it's got Virgil, Robbo, Salah's in it, and Trent. There might be one other, I can't remember. So everybody will play a part, and then that in a five will play more of a leadership role, and then Virgil is the sort of spearhead to that. I think he's a good captain. He's a defender. He's got the pitch in front of him. He's a communicator. A lot of people like to say that he doesn't talk enough and he's quiet. That's not true. If you go to Anfield and you actually see him firsthand, you'll recognise that he talks throughout the game. It might not come across on telly all that much, but he's constantly marshalling the back line. He's constantly speaking to the guys in front of him. I think he's got some unwarranted criticism when he's captain the national side, in my opinion. And I think people that maybe don't like the idea of Virgil being captain is kind of just off the back of the season he's just had. You know, take away that season that he's just had and judge him on his performances and how he's conducted himself in his Liverpool career. He's an ideal candidate to lead the club as the captain. So I think it's a good appointment as with him. He's going to play most of the games as well, which is important. You don't want your captain sitting on the bench, or when you're playing, few games or whatever. He's almost guaranteed to play every minute of the season. So I think he's a good appointment. And then Trent, he's not a young man anymore. He's 24. He's obviously a local lad. Again, he'll play most of the games moving forward. And he'll be a good successor when Virgil does move on. So I think they're the right choices. And I think it's just a bit strange it took this long, to be honest. I thought once Henderson sort of was out the door, it would just be announced straight away. But obviously, there must be reasons for it. Whether they're going to do some media work, I don't know. Maybe there'll be a video to be released or something. Not too sure. But I was just surprised it wasn't released sooner. But it is what it is. So overall, I'm cool with it. I'm happy with him being the captain.
Yeah, same. I think it makes sense. I think it makes a lot of sense putting Virgil in that captain's armband and Trent as vice. What is Trent, 24 now? Look, probably take over as captain when he's 26, 27. Yeah, perfect if you ask me. As you said, we have got leaders all over the pitch, so it's excellent. It's excellent. N says the video's out. Just watched it. I'll go and check that out. Big up, Ens. Ain't doing well, man. Ens, I did send you the link. I know you got a show at 7, but if you wanted to come on 10, 20 minutes, you're cool to do so. Big up Daz in the chat as well. Hope you're doing well, Daz. Hope you're doing well. And where's my man here? Where is he? There he is, my man there, Frank. Big up to Frank. Hope you're doing well, my man. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, guys, go and check out Frank Carlisle's YouTube channel. Just put Frank Carlisle on YouTube. Go and check out his channel and give him a sub. He's talking loads of good Liverpool content over there on his channel. Get some good guests on. Go and check him out. And I might be on there on Thursday. So, go and check the man out. Before we get onto the main subject of this video, so everyone don't worry, we will get onto that subject. I just haven't been on since the Liverpool game, so because I watch UFC and I'm too old to stay up at night now. McAllister. Baz. McAllister already looks like he's been at Liverpool for 2 years. He just 35 million. This guy is super talented, and the parts of the game that I did watch, as I say, I only watched the 60-minute highlights. I thought he was excellent. I really did. I thought he was excellent, and he's such an upgrade on our midfield. It's just ridiculous how good he is, and he's settled in already. He looks like he understands what Klopp wants him to do. He's comfortable in everything aspect of the game in midfield, and 35 million. This could be the signing of the season. I'm not being a biased point of view here because it's Liverpool, but you gotta find it hard to beat a better deal than that. What do you reckon, Baz?
35 million, man. What a steal. Look, certainly he definitely looks like he's been there for years. He fits straight in. He's Premiership proven, good age, definitely an upgrade on what we've got. And yeah, he was absolutely brilliant yesterday. Seen him in positions that you don't normally see in some of our midfielders of late. You know what I mean? Like in the attacking third, at the back. Well, not quite at the back, but helping out in defending, the passing, everything's assured from him. And he's definitely going to be, in my opinion, if he, barring any injuries and stuff like that, he's going to have a brilliant season, and he's definitely going to offer us a lot more. Sometimes when you get players that come into a club, sometimes it takes time to settle, or they're a little bit timid. This guy just came in. It's like, yo, I'm ready. You know what I mean? And that's what he's doing. You know what I mean? He's come in and, he's showing what he's got, what we've got now, what he can offer. He's a brilliant signing. When you look at our owners and, the type of money we spend, You know, it's like 35 million. This is just like a brilliant player, World Cup winner. Doesn't have issues in terms of like a lot of injuries and stuff like that. You know, he's just ready. He's just a ready-made midfielder that can play in various positions. So, yeah, man, looking forward to seeing him in the start of the season for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, Matt, your opinions on a great player in McAllister we got here?
Oh, Mac, what a player he is. I've raved about him for a while now. He's basically just stepped up again, hasn't he? Every club he goes to, he steps up to the plate, attacks the challenge. He's looked brilliant through pre-season. He's also been played in a number of positions as well, which shows he's obviously flexible and versatile as well. And he's got what Klopp wants already, and Klopp's already raving about him, which can only be a positive. Because obviously last year he made a few comments about Núñez not being able to, work the way Liverpool want him to. That's obviously going to change this season, and it looks like it's already started anyway. So I can't wait to watch McAllister. I also think maybe he might get a chance at some set pieces as well. You know, at the end of the day, like he's a good set piece specialist as well.
Yeah, he's just Cav, he already looks like part of the furniture, don't he? And I don't even mean that in a bad way. He just looks like he's a bit like when we got Gakpo in and Luis Diaz in. This is what Liverpool do when they do go into the transfer market. They try and make sure they get players that sort of just fit in straight away, don't they? And McAllister looks like one of them.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a key cog to our system next season. Like, even when we were prior to signing him, we were sort of looking at the type of player he is, building his profile and looking at what he could bring to Liverpool. We knew he would be the perfect fit, and he looks to be the perfect fit for what we need because he has everything in his game. You know, mentality-wise, he's driven, he's ambitious, he's got fight in him. You see the fire in the challenges and the motivation he shows in the games. But he's also got a good balance of calmness as well. You know, he doesn't lose his head, you know, and he's got a real balance about it, the way he approaches the game. And then ability-wise and what he does on and off the ball, he can do it all, you know. He's so versatile, like K-Mac says, in the positions he can play. He always seemingly manages to find space, you know, in the centre of the park, especially where it's more congested between lines. Once he receives the ball, his touch is good. He'll turn inside and outside. He'll do a bit of a trick if he needs to break away from the opposition player and relieve pressure on himself. He'll play the ball quick. He'll play it first time. He'll hold on to it for a long period if he needs to. He just is always an option off the ball, and then when he receives it, he just does the right thing. So efficient. Just picks the right pass, you know, at the right tempo, you know, and he's key for what we do. Like I say, I think all the other players are going to really benefit from him as well. We talk about that in respect to the false nine position, how Firmino did it for years, and now Gakpo looks to be that player where they bring the other forwards into play. I think he does that in from a midfield perspective. Always an option to pass to, and will bring others into play, and will sort of knit the team together, especially offensively with that build-up and the variety and build-up. So I think he's an excellent player. The price is just incredible. He's worth more than double that, I think. I think he's already one of the best players in the league, and I think come the end of the season, hopefully he stays fit and doesn't pick up any injuries. We could be talking about one of the top 5, top 3 midfielders in the league. I think he's that good. So it's an incredible signing. He's fitted in really well, and none of it is a surprise because you could just see what he was about when he was at Brighton. And he just needs to stay fit and progress. I'm pretty sure he's in Klopp's starting 11 come the start of the season.
Yeah, definitely.
He's got that incredible ability to be able to slow things down and speed things up as well, and play at his pace. I just think we didn't have anyone in midfield that could really do that. Obviously, Thiago is a player that can do that, but he's always injured. But I just wanted to touch on
he's almost the perfect midfielder in my opinion, because he combines athleticism, you know, ability to get across the pitch, strong in a challenge, with the ability to create. the ability to control tempo, and then the flair that you need to sort of work yourself out of presses and go past the player or resist the challenge. And then he can get in on the goals like we've seen at Brighton from time to time. And then you alluded to it as well, okay, Matt, that he's good from set pieces. We've seen him score penalties and free kicks. So honestly, I hope that he'll continue to improve, obviously, but I really think he's a complete player. And it's amazing that Liverpool managed to get him, and all the other clubs around the world weren't trying to fetch him if they were aware of the price, because he can slot into that Man City team easily. And if you can get into that, if you can be considered a starter for Man City, then you'll be good enough for everybody else. So it just shows the level of ability this guy's got.
Yeah,
he's younger than Trent as well. I think people forget that.
yeah, it's scary, man. Scary.
Yeah, they're both 24, aren't they? Yeah.
Big up Jem and the super sticker. I really, really do appreciate it. Was it your birthday yesterday? So you see, someone said Jen's birthday yesterday, and just make sure it was it you. Big up birthday if it was. You shouldn't be sending me money if it was your birthday yesterday. But big up Jen. I do appreciate the super sticker as always. I really, really do. Big up Eric in the house. Shameless Eric. Anything will be fine. FSG will give us my guys, Gabriel and Mbappe. Could you imagine? Big up Eric for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Yeah, we're gonna get on to the FSG stuff in a minute, guys, and yeah, we're just go through this game. I just want to talk about some of the players that are shining bright at the moment. Yeah, big happy birthday to Jen then. Thank you very much. Yeah, my birthday's on Wednesday. Big up, Jen. Thank you very much. Jen, how did you know? Was you in here when I said it earlier? Why somehow you know it was my birthday? Or was you in here earlier when I was saying it? What was I going to say? Jota. Jota. Right. Our attack is... it's a Liverpool-based channel, so we're all going to sound a bit biased, but our attack is probably the best in the league, in my opinion, for all the players we got in that five. And it's going to be who Klopp picks as his front three to start Chelsea is a difficult choice because there's so many there. Spies, Jamie. Big up, Jen. So it's... I love Jota. I really do. And the more I watch him and the more I watch Diaz, I almost feel like Diaz is almost our fifth choice forward at the moment. I really do. And I really rate Diaz. But when I watch Jota and Darwin and Gakpo and Salah play at the moment, I just feel like they're ahead of the curve. And when I watch Jota play, what Jota does, he comes from the left into that inverted central position so well. And it opens up things for us. Baz, what do you think? I just really rate Jota at the moment. I'm saying that I just really rate Jota. What are you saying, Baz?
Yeah, for me, he's obviously we've got Mo Salah who just paps in the goals, but for me, he's our most natural finisher. Like I always say, he scores with his left, right, header, penalties. The only thing with him is he does pick up injuries, but you know, if you're gonna have like your Gakpos or your Nunez's and stuff like that, then you could sort of allow that to be fair. He's a brilliant striker, and I would have him as my backup 9, to be fair. And if you don't play him centrally, like you said, you can play him on the left, you can play him on the right. Yesterday, I was very impressed with his performance, obviously with the goals, and our forwards are just so fluid. They're so fluid, Jamie. It's unreal. You know what I mean? We put Nunez in the middle. He's obviously doing decent in pre-season. You know, but we can have him on the left. You can have him forward. You know, you can have so much fluidity in our forwards. I'm not concerned at all, and it's not even being biased about it or big-headed. We definitely do have the best forwards the attack, in my opinion, in the Premier League. They're experienced as well. That's the thing, you know. They're experienced, and Jota for me is someone that he's complete. He's near complete. If it's just his injuries, but I can excuse that because we've got enough in our squad to cover for that now. We haven't even mentioned Diaz, so we're good, man. We're good. And Jota for me, yeah, man, we've got to keep him, and I know that he will definitely contribute this season, whether it's off the bench, whether it's on the left or right, or even central. If we can keep him away from injuries and just look after our squad and rotate them, make sure they're not overly worked, then we should have a good opportunity, good chance of keeping them fit.
Yeah. I mean, okay, Matt, what's your opinion? Because what would your starting three be? Because I'm going to go for this game on Wednesday against Bayern Munich. I've got a feeling that he's going to play the opening game against Chelsea's first 11 against Bayern Munich. That's what I reckon, and see where they're at. So what would your strongest three be right now? Because it's a heck of a choice we have got. But I do feel like, I know a lot of people saying squad rotations, that sort of stuff, and I agree, there has got to be rotation. But I also think you have to pick your best team and keep with that most of the time. So would Jota be in your first front three, or what would your three be consisting of?
So if you'd asked me a couple of games ago, I'd have said Jota, Gakpo, Salah. But Núñez really is looking like he's looking really serious. I mean, could he do that as a sub? Like, I don't know. Like, it's a really difficult one. Like, I got absolute pelters. I think it was on your show as well, Jamie, when the stuff came around about Diaz, Saudi Arabia, and I said, if we get like 60, 70 million, I'd sell him. Like, we've got players that can come in and do a job, and we have. Like, so, but to have him as that extra option is perfect. But for me, I think it's Jota, Gakpo, Salah for me. I just think Gakpo and Jota have got goals in them. They really have, and they've got a great relationship. And Salah just cooks no matter what. But then if you bring Núñez on, him and Salah seem to have that really good relationship as well. And Salah never comes off, so it's always going to be someone with Salah. So I just think that works. That works really well. And the fact that Gakpo can just like drop into midfield as well as an option, and then you can obviously put Núñez up with Gakpo on the pitch as well. It's really good to have that flexibility. But for me, Diaz isn't a starter. He's not a starter.
I mean, look, and we all rate Diaz, but it's just, I think the way everyone's seen Jota play, especially since he's come back from injury, Cav, it's like we've forgotten how good this guy actually is. And the way he can drift from left to central and central to left, and he is a poacher, and his heading ability for someone who's 3'5", his heading ability is just, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think the good thing is the 3 games that we've played in this preseason, all of the forwards have had minutes, and they've all used their minutes really well. Or I think all of them have scored, and all of them have played well, and it's gave Klopp a bit of a headache, but a headache that he'll want. I just feel like at the minute, Diaz perhaps needs a bit more time. Obviously, he had his injury last season. He came back, and it's took him a little bit of time to sort of find his feet again, I think. He's not quite the explosive player that we signed back in January last year, the year before? But I think he'll get there. I just think he's effective, and he's a good player, and he's doing well. And he's certainly, if he starts, he'll be worthy of that spot. I just think he's got levels still to go up yet. I still want him to sort of beat his man a bit more often. I still want him to be, getting in the box a bit more often. I still want him to sort of link up with his teammates a little bit better. Feel like the other players have got that sort of understanding and that fluidity down a bit more than he has. And I think I've kind of felt that way since he's came in. Great individual, but always needed to work on integrating with the team a bit more. You see Gakpo seem to do it quite well and get better and better in that respect. So I think my starting front 3, as it is at this point in time, and it can change with injuries and what somebody could do something incredible in the remaining preseason games. But I would go with Salah and Gakpo. Salah obviously because it's Salah. Gakpo because he is a goal scorer, but he also is everything else that he provides for the team. You know, dropping in to spaces, linking up play, shooting from outside the box, getting in on the end of tap-ins, you know, the link up, like I just say. And he's really got everything as a forward, and he's getting better and better. You know, the ability to come deep and drive with the ball as well. I think he's just offering everything you would possibly want as a centre forward. And then I would go with Jota ahead of Diaz on the left, just because Jota scores goals, quite simply. Yeah. And I don't think he's an out-and-out winger. You could maybe consider him as a left inside forward and a centre forward, but always round, it don't really matter. Just get him on the pitch. Just have him in the starting 11 somewhere, because if he's in that starting 11 and he's playing enough minutes, he scores goals. And like Baz alluded to earlier, he scores all types of goals. He can pick up the ball and drive at men and drive into the box, and it might look a bit untidy at times. It might fumble around. He might lose the ball and get it back. He's tenacious when he loses it at winning it back, and goals can come from that. It can be a lot cleaner in terms of giving the ball away and making that sort of run into the box where he's trying to get on the end of crosses and what have you. Or like not the goal that he scored, the one Nunes scored in the last game, where he's sort of on the shoulder of the defence and he's expecting the ball played through from the midfield. McAllister on this occasion plays him in and he just shoots. Doesn't matter where he is inside that 18-yard box. He just naturally knows where the goal is, and he'll hit the ball with his left, right, off his head, wherever it is, and it will usually be on target. So I think he has to be in the side, especially when we're playing Chelsea. It's away. We always seem to have 0-0s against these boys of late. So it'd be nice to just put the guys on that you think can get the goals, and try and turn them sort of 0-0s into just a win one way or another. So I would go with that. And then I also think off the bench as well, late on in the game, Nunes with the pace against tired legs. Same with Diaz. They're great options to come off. And then the following game is Bournemouth at home. You'd expect us to get a win against them in whoever plays. So maybe you can put the boys that don't start against Chelsea up against them and give them an opportunity. But look, whoever he chooses to go with, you've got to be confident that attack can score goals. So we're in a great position, and I think we should all recognise it and all appreciate the front line that we have, because I think they're all incredible in their own way. Some of them have got a bit of development to do. I love Nunes, but I certainly don't think he links up as well as Gakpo. So he needs to work on that area of his game. I don't know why he keeps wanting to square it to Salah, whether they've had a little cheeky word in training and they've got a bet on or something. I don't know, but you could do with shooting instead of trying to square it all the time. But yeah, great attack at the minute, great options, and hopefully they stay fit. They'll only get better and better. So it's exciting. We're not going to struggle to score goals this season, that's for sure.
No, exactly.
To be able to bring two street ballers off the bench is just insane as well, because Nunes and Diaz are basically street ballers, aren't they?
The thing is, in that you could well see Gakpo play in one of the 8 positions and have Nunes start as well. You could see four of the forwards. I'm not calling them 5. I'm calling it 6 because I'm chucking Doak in there as well. I genuinely would love to see this kid.
I was going to mention
obviously.
that later on. I think he's now in his mind.
He's got to be. I mean, the kid's fearless. He takes people on. He runs at people. He causes havoc. Doesn't always lead to stuff, but he is frightening defenders, and he doesn't care who he's coming up against. He's going to go out and try and make things happen, and that's a really, really unique thing to have. And I think cup games is probably where he's likely to get his minutes initially, but certainly if we're up in games and we're a bit comfortable, I've got no issues with Salah coming off and chucking Doak on for the final sort of 20 minutes of games and stuff. So I'm considering it as a front 6, not a front 5.
Yeah, it's mad, the forward line. Big up Jay Activist says 4 goals per game right now. Big up Jay, thank you very much, mate. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we are the top goal scorers in the Premier League next season, because the firepower we have right now, Mo's position, I think Mo's just become the all-round player now. He can score, he can assist, he can dribble, he can pass. He's sort of becoming an all-round player. That's my boy crying. Darwin is a goal scorer that we're seeing in the pre-season so far. He will score goals if you set him up. It's as simple as that. Gakpo will get double figures. Jota will get double figures. Diaz, I'm not worried if Diaz don't score double figures because that's not really his game, really, is it? He's a creative winger. So that's fine with me if he gets like 8 goals, but 9 assists or something like that. That's perfectly fine for me with the rotation we're going to have there. So, yeah, our forward line's fine. It's this is where we're going to get onto the whole as Klopp. Is FSG back Klopp enough? So, the reason I wanted to do this video to start with is because all the attention online about how many players have left our football club right now and how many have been brought in. So we know the players that have left, and it depends what agenda you go with, right? If you go with a normal, everyday approach to things, Bobby's left, Milner's left, Ox has left, and what's his name? Nabia's left. Who else has left? That was the first teamer. Was that it? Yeah, I think that's
Fab, Hendo as well.
And Hendo and Fabinho, yeah, they've left as well, right? So if we go about it this way, if we do get Lavia win, which I think we will do, if Lavia comes in, Lavia replaces Fabinho. Henderson, McAllister replaces Henderson, and Szoboszlai probably replaces Milner because then guys played more, right? Then Ox and Naby, who never played, I'm not really worried because they were never really squad depth anyway because they never played. So we're buying 3 in that are replacing the 3 that are left. 2 players are definitely a massive upgrade. Lavia might be an upgrade on Fabinho in the years to come, but not straight away, but he's got so much potential. Then you got the likes of Curtis Jones there, who we have to say now, he's definitely a regular in around the squad now. There's no doubt about it. You got Stefan Versatility, who's going to have a big career with Liverpool. I think he's going to be a big part of this team going forward. And then obviously you got Thiago. When he's fit, we know what Thiago can do. So there's good midfield options there. But I always see when people talk about we've let 11 players go and only brought 2 in. I'm not worried. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think you need to bring 11 players in because 11 players have left. Do you know what I mean? For me, it's all about quality over quantity. I think we've been building up a lot of quantity over the time and left them to rot in the team instead of selling them at right parts in their life, in their span. Cater and Ox should probably never have left for free. They should have probably left 24 months ago in a way because they're not doing anything in our squad. They're just taking up room. So this is a difficult one because I'm on the fence on this whole thing. I don't think this is where I see it. I listen to Klopp a lot, and everyone keeps telling me you must listen to what Jurgen Klopp says. Right? If you ever go against Jurgen Klopp, they come back at you and go, you must listen to what Jurgen Klopp says. So I listen, and I listen very carefully to what Jurgen Klopp says. Jurgen Klopp only wants the right players at his football club, which I like. Which I really like. Brendan Rodgers, if you go back to Brendan Rodgers, he just wanted players because he just wanted a squad. So he just wanted players for having the sake of having footballers. And that's why we brought in crap players because Damien Comolli was terrible at his job. FSG were new to the thing. And they were just letting Brendan buy crap players, yeah? Because Brendan just wanted players in the team.
Where it was over 200 million.
Yeah.
It was over 200 million they gave him.
And Jurgen wants particular players, yeah? And we go and get... Apart from Jude and Tchouaméni, publicly, hasn't Klopp always got every player he wanted? And I'm putting that out in the atmosphere. Apart from Jude and Tchouaméni, Baz, hasn't Klopp really got every player that he probably wanted?
Yeah, you could say that. You could say that, but I don't want to get too much into the Klopp thing because obviously we had a debate about that yesterday. But what I would say is he does carry his eggs in one basket, or he waits a while to identify a player and then waits to get him. And yes, obviously the two the two mentioned what the ones that really slipped, but at important times where we may have needed them. The Tchouaméni, the Jude Bellinghams of this world, etc. But generally, yeah, he does. He does get the players. He does get backed because the players that he wants in, he brings in. It's as simple as that. The thing that I'm a bit concerned about, if you're going to give youngsters the opportunity, then yeah, we have numbers. But if you're not going to give them the opportunity, we're going to be left short. And obviously, for me, when I look at the logics, bringing in two players and losing maybe three or four in positions, all it takes is one or two injuries, and then you're back to square one. Curtis Jones now is definitely maybe just not a squad player. He's obviously like a big. He's going to be involved in a lot more, and understandably, I just hope that Liverpool or Jurgen Klopp is ready for this season. It's a big season. It's a big season, no doubt. People are going to want to see. They're going to want to see a huge improvement from last year. And yes, we do have formulas now where we've got players that can potentially help the cause in terms of running. These players that we brought in also can help someone like Nunes to fire. But I am concerned. So you do definitely need quality, but sometimes you need numbers as well, because those Christmas times and that, or where players do get injured, you're gonna need quality for sure, but you may also need numbers as well. People like Clark who have come in, brilliant players. If they get the games and they get the opportunity to improve, then certainly they're going to have futures and they're going to be good players. You don't just pick up a player without, in the academy without the intentions of, or they don't have potential. All these players do have potential, but when you need to play them, when you look at that centre back that we had, that we've got, that's been playing, he's brilliant. Is he going to get opportunities? That's the question. And when we look at potential signings like centre backs or even midfielders, do these guys get the opportunity to grow and to become that player? I don't know, but let's hope we improve.
It's interesting because people keep saying in the chat like high-profile players. So it all depends what you think a high-profile player is. Now, Anthony from Man United is a high-profile player. Would you guys spend 100 million on him, or would you rather pay 40 million for Gakpo?
Well, we got the better deal.
What does everyone consider a high-profile player? So high-profile player to me is that sort of price range, right? And where I look at it sometimes, so Man United's net spend, I say net spend because net spend does not exist. People seem to not realise this, but it's a myth. Net spend can't exist when you pay installments on people and you sell in installments. It's a net spend can't exist. And if you get the reason I know this because I spoke to a banker, and bankers tell you that net spend can't exist. Yeah, and we paid 5 million for Gakpo when we bought him in January. That just tells you everything right there.
We did a good show on that, remember?
Yeah, and people just don't understand this net spend thing. But high value players, I don't understand what high value players are. For me, high value player is that player between the 80, 100 or million onwards with high wages, high demand, that sort of player, yeah. And if you look at Man United's spend, so Ten Hag has spent 400 million while he's been at Man United, right, in the 2 seasons. He spent 400 million. There is, apart from Lautaro Martinez, what's his name? Martinez, the defender. Yeah. Apart from him, there will be no one I would take that Ten Hag has bought in that 400 million pound time over the players that we've got. None. Not one.
Casemiro,
just gone and spent 70 million on this Højlund guy, right? Who got 9 goals last season. They all took the mick out of Darwin, who got 34 the season we bought him. All right. So what does it like? This is what I'm saying. For me, it's not always how much you spend, it's how wise you spend it. FSG are always going to do value for money in the transfer market. That is the way they work, like it or not. That's the way they work. Jurgen Klopp, I don't mean to break this to people, yeah? Right? I really don't mean to break this to people. Jurgen Klopp is happy at how FSG work. He just is. or he wouldn't be here. Don't give me all this claptrap about it's because of the people of Liverpool, it's because of the city, it's because of all this, it's because of all that. No. You could like where you live and where you work, but if the boss is not giving you everything you can do to succeed in your job, you are not staying in your job. So he likes the way FSG run. People might not like the facts because too many people just put Klopp on such a high pedestal. You can't say anything because it might knock him down. And it ain't even knocked down to Jurgen to say that he likes the owners. People just got to get over it. If Jurgen Klopp likes the owners, guys, he likes the owners. If Jurgen Klopp likes the way the owners do business, that is the way it is, guys. It's not a knock on Jurgen. So, guys, don't get upset about it. At the end of the day.
Sorry to cut you. You know, for example, like Lavia is quoted at 50 million right now. It's quite a big amount of money for someone that's at 19, that's had 1 year's Premiership experience and stuff like that. But you know, when you're talking about the high profile players, you can get some absolute gems for, you know, like, for example, PSG had met Ugarte's release clause. Yeah. He was under 40 million quid. We could have easily got them. And that is the kind of quality that has the potential. And those are the kind of players I think, you know, we're not used to, or Liverpool don't really get, you know, superstars and stuff like that. We don't spend big money like that. We will probably get your Van Dijk if we sell or whatever, but you know, we can get literally players for around that amount of money. And when you meet a clause, he's yours.
We definitely want to do Gareth, by the way. Klopp tapped him up and got reported to the club, and they reported him to the Portuguese league, which is why we didn't get a Gareth in the first place. Okay, so we really wanted a Gareth. Okay, let's just put that out there.
But
Klopp made a few sneaky phone calls and got reported for it.
The thing is, if you meet his buyout clause, or buyout fee or whatever it was, then really and truly, I mean, it's quite a cheap one. If it was like, I don't know, 100 million, then fine. Tapping or negotiating can be a problem. But this guy was available at that price. He didn't need to do that. He could have said, right, you know what, we're having you. Just like what we did with Szoboszlai. We weren't sure if we were going to negotiate or whatever. And in the end, we had a certain amount of time. Let's just pay 60 million and whatever.
And what else gets on my nerves, right? What else gets on my nerves, Liverpool fans, we got this thing where we don't pretend we said things 2 years ago and we try and shut it down because we've got to keep with our agenda. Every Liverpool fan 2 or 3 years ago said Liverpool have the most world-class players in their starting 11. Everyone said that. Liverpool's strongest starting 11, Liverpool have the most world-class players. So that means we buy well. That means we buy well, guys. We can't pretend. You know, Virgil at his peak was one of the best defenders around. Alisson was a world record, You know, Robbo was a great player that we all lauded as one of the best left-backs in world football when he's at his peak for 8 million. Salah, Mane. You know, people love Diaz. People love Jota. People love Darwin. People love Gakpo. Thiago. Everyone raves about Thiago. You can't sell Thiago. He's world class. You got Trent who came from the youth team. You know, you had Fabinho at the time, who everyone said probably the best DM in the world when he was at his best.
He was.
So we either do buy our hen players at great cost, or Klopp is not being back, Cav. What one is it? Because I don't get it.
He's being backed because look at the squad we have. Yes, I think we can all agree it needs some additional bodies in there. Would like to see a midfielder or two. Would like to see a centre back to come in to kind of close to complete the squad. But if you assess all the players that we have in the squad, there's some absolute quality in there. And there's quality across the whole pitch. We've got probably the best goalkeeper in the world. The defence is got people that, okay, yes, Virgil didn't have his best Liverpool season last season, but he's still an exceptional player. And he will improve next season, along with Konate, who is one of the best youngsters around for a centre-back. Gomez can improve, obviously. Matip's probably not going to at this stage, but there'll be, you know, Robbo's can still contribute. Simi's there. You know, there's quality in there. You've got Conor Bradley, who's who's looking promising. You've got Ramsey, who's out on loan, who looks a really good player. So you've got good people in and around that position. We've signed some world class, in my opinion, midfielders, or in Szoboszlai, somebody I think can be world class. And then you've got youngsters like Versatility and who's the kid that scored, Bobby Clark. And you've got youngsters in there as well. And then the forwards, we've already spoke about, 15 minutes or so ago, about how they're probably one of the best forward lines in the league. So there's quality all over this squad. And I think if we all look at that squad and we look at Klopp at the helm and we take into all the factors, including Anfield and the expansion and having the fans back on side and motivated as well, and all of these things, what could this squad possibly achieve? And I think we would all say 1-2 trophies next season. We definitely should be in the top 4. Possibly we could challenge for a title. I don't think we could be better than Man City next season, in my opinion, but I think we could be the team that pushes them like Arsenal did last season and like we've done in the previous years. So is he backed? Well, he's ended up with a world-class squad, in my opinion, and he's replaced a previous squad. We've seen Henderson, Fabinho, Firmino, Mane go out the door. We've brought in Diaz, Gakpo, Nunes, McAllister, Szoboszlai in that time. So it is being regenerated. We would probably like for the rebuild to have happened sooner. We'd probably like for it to happen quicker, but it's happening. And Liverpool, really, with the squad that they're left with, should be winning trophies. So in that respect, yes, he is being backed. In another respect, it doesn't all fall down to him on who we sign. There's a scouting team there that you've just alluded to, Jamie, that have done really good business in the past. They've probably moved away from how they've recruited people and how they've scouted in the past year or so. I think they've probably moved back to it and gone back to how they scouted people of old. That's just me kind of reading into how we've signed players and some of the information that's coming out. I don't know for a fact, but then you've got, the director of football changing and George now being introduced. There's also people around Klopp that support him in the decision-making when it comes to scouting and signing players. So he's backed in that respect. Now, yes, every club has a scouting team and a scouting network and stuff, but Liverpool have been one of the best for it. So, we look at the youngsters that we're interested in signing. I've seen a few rumours this week about Liverpool looking at getting some real youngsters in their 14, 15, 16-year-olds, and we were speaking, I think, at some point last season about why don't we do that enough? And then seemingly you see Kwanzaa come through, you see Doak come through, you see Basetic come through. So we were improving in that respect as well. So I don't solely focus on the money that's being spent and net spend. I just look at what we're left with. And in my opinion, we're left with a very, very well-run, stable football club off the pitch. And on the pitch, I think we've got bags of quality to go and achieve things. And I think with some additional faces in this, hopefully this remaining couple of month or so of the transfer window, and then the winter window in January, and then next summer, we'll continue to add to the squad and it will continue to be regenerated and improve. We've now got a quite good average age of the squad when you look at all the youngsters and sort of mid-20 players we've got in. So, like I say, what we're left with is a team and a squad that I think can win trophies. So I can't then say that FSG haven't backed Klopp. Not backing Klopp, in my opinion, would be leaving us with a squad that can't achieve anything.
Can I join on to that?
And I just want to say one sec. I want to talk to Andrew a second because me and Andrew go back and forward quite a lot. So he says, sorry, the squad was not good enough last season, so it can't be better now. So are you reacting to how we finished? At the beginning of last season, so this time last season, was you thinking that when we just come off a massive season when we almost won everything? Or are you reacting to what happened last season? Because if you are reacting to what happened last season, I've argued with this to you plenty of times. Klopp takes a lot of blame last season. His tactics were terrible. His system was terrible. When he changed it with them same players, we went on an 11-game unbeaten run for the last 11 games of the season because he changed the system. Sometimes these players are getting left out to dry because of the system, guys. It don't matter what players you get in if you play a system that don't always suit them. I mean, we've got to stop with this Klopp can't do nothing wrong mentality. It drives me mad. It literally drives me mad. We go from 3 years ago saying we've got the most world-class players in the squad to then saying we don't spend money to then saying Klopp Klopp don't get the money he deserves. Then we go to like these comments are saying squad weren't good enough last season, but that summer before the season before that almost won everything going into that summer. No one saw that coming. Klopp's at fault sometimes. Like the owners, like everyone blames the owners for absolutely everything. Klopp can't just be sitting there thinking, I've done nothing wrong. I'm sitting pretty. I do nothing wrong. I don't get it. Is he backed enough? That's what I'm asking. For me right now, it all depends how you see football. See, I see that we've got rid of all the deadwood. Guess what let us down last season? The deadwood that has gone. The deadwood is out the team. Gone. We can be better this season than we were last season with less players. Because the players that are gone were the ones we were all slagging off. I did all my videos all over the year. I can go and get all my 200, 300 videos I did all last season. And we can all talk about the same players that we're pissed off with all season. Henderson, Fabinho, to name two. Yeah. Ox, always injured. Naby, always injured, never available. Yeah. We got rid of them all. So all the players everyone were moaning about, letting us down last season and can't hack it no more, have left the football club. They've gone. Now, in my opinion, we've got a smaller midfield now. But this smaller midfield of 7 midfielders, for me, is better than the midfield we had last season. Because last season, we only had Thiago. That's all. That's all we had last season, Thiago. Because everyone else was old and useless and can't do it no more. Now we're looking at another new season where we got a small amount of midfielders in that position in 7. But now we've got Sabozalai that you're all loving, that you're all rating, that you can't wait. You're already calling him on the verge of world class. McAllister, same. You got Trent who can play inverted now. You got Thiago still there, everyone loves. You got Stefan there that everyone rates and thinks he's going to have a massive career. And then if Lavia comes in, that's huge potential. That is a better midfield quartet.
You missed out Curtis Jones.
And Curtis
Jones and Elliott.
That is a better and Elliott. That is a better,
and Gakpo that can play in
and
the
Gakpo,
yeah. Gakpo can play in midfield. So that is a better midfield quartet than we had last season, because the only one we had last season that everyone raved about was Thiago. Am I right or wrong, Baz?
Absolutely. That's all I could say. Absolutely, you're right.
Can I talk on the Klopp thing, please?
Go for it.
I've been waiting ages, and I had everything built up to say.
That's why I've done it quick, because I know you were dying to get into it. So go for it, bro.
So the interesting thing about it is it feels a bit like a deja vu with Brendan Rodgers, because Brendan Rodgers had loads and loads of deadwood that was always letting him down, like Moreno and Mignolet and Benteke, all of the same old faces that kept on letting him down. Now, we've had that, but we only had a small sample size of it, which was pretty much a season and a half, with the likes of Fabinho and Henderson and Keita and Ox. I mean, they kind of dragged on a bit longer than a season and a half. But now they've all gone. I really do feel that we are 1 or 2 players away from having a really special season. And I feel like we're not going to do it because we're not going to buy that extra player.
One second. Hang on 1 second. I'm done with these toxic little channels. Ernie, let me know. Ernie, come and debate. I want you to debate in the chat right now. Let me know, my friend. Let me know. Debate in the chat right now. I'm not saying FSG are the end of everything. Am I saying they're backing Klopp enough? I even gave you an answer on that yet. I've not said an answer at all. Right now, if we only got 2 coming in and we need a centre-back and we don't get the DM, he hasn't been backed enough this summer. No. There's my answer to that. But I'm going through the longevity of Klopp's reign. Yeah? We can't sit here and pretend we don't have great players, because that'd be a lie. And then I think I saw something else from you earlier. Hang on. I've got it here. So, right. McAllister and Gakpo were both good signings, so they're still smart people at the club. They are the club, not FSG. Do you know FSG employ them people, yeah? FSG employ them people to do that work to get them people in. John and they own the football club, my friend. If FSG own the football club, they're employing them people to do that work to get these players in. So you can say it's just a fact, you know.
Michael Edwards and Billy Hogan are employing these people, and they're geniuses.
Yeah,
and
if I
got
run a
some
company,
incredible people in.
If I run a company and I employ Cav, Baz, and K-Mac, Jesus Christ, I wouldn't. But if I did employ a company and I employed these three guys and I told them their roles, and then their roles, they then go and employ other people to help them in their role. That's all coming from me because I own the business. This is what I'm saying. Klopp's doing an amazing job. I love Jurgen Klopp. He's here forever. But at the same time, you know, the owners are doing a decent job. They're not the best owners in the world. No. Would we prefer sugar daddy owners? Yeah, probably, because then we all have the players apparently everyone wants, right? But it's not been backed enough this season yet because we've not got a centre-back in and we've not got a DM in. But I'm going for the majority of Jurgen Klopp's run at Liverpool Football Club. Go on, K-Mac, I'll cut you off.
About that as well.
The thing
about that, what you just said. Yeah, go on.
Sorry, K-Mac. Just quickly, because I've got a dash in a sec. But all I'd like to highlight is that if you look at the squad that was competing for the Premier League title, missed out by a point, and you look at the squad that won the Champions League and won the title, we would all probably at that point in time, and I'm sure the people in the chat would agree, say that's one of the best squads in Europe, you know, or one of the best teams in Europe.
Oh,
Of course it is. It won the Premier League, it won the Champions League. From that point on, right, we have had Mane and Firmino age and decline somewhat in their performances. And we've replenished that front line. We brought Diaz in, we brought Gakpo in, we brought Nunes in, and we've all just said that front line is incredible. The defence, we've got, we had Virgil and Konate and Matip, not Konate, sorry, Virgil, Gomez and Matip that were great options. Robert, Trent were brilliant, right? And we bring in Konate, okay, who is an exciting young player that can contribute positively now, probably one of the best defenders in the league, in my opinion, as long as he stays fit. You know, and we need to do a little bit of work on the defence, but the defence should, barring any injuries, be good enough to go and support a team that can get into the top four and compete for the Premier League next season. The midfield is where they made the mistake, in my opinion, because they hung on to Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain, knowing that these players are unreliable, okay? But the decision to keep Fabinho and Henderson, your club captain, off the back of winning, off the back of a season where you went for 4 trophies and narrowly missed out by the finest of margins, it's not a terrible decision. Yes, we would like to think that they could have forced on the decline of Henderson and Fabinho, but it's difficult to. It's difficult to because, you know, at the point at which we ended that season where we went for 4 trophies and then started the next, it's a space of a few months. And yes, some people would say Fabinho you could see it in the prior season, but it was good enough to go and win, to go compete for these trophies. And that's what it matters at the end of the day. The mistake was made to not replenish the midfield as quick as we should have. But they're rectifying that mistake in this summer. Yes, they need to do more, but the people have gone and the new faces are coming in, and the people that are coming in, we're all agreeing are right for our club. So I'm not saying they're perfect, but the squad is being replenished. And when they've made a mistake, they're rectifying it in the following summers. We just need to recognize that because we can't just do it all in one window. That's just unrealistic. You know, so I think some appreciation just needs to be put on the fact that the squad is developing. The squad, I'm not going to say progressing because we were at the peak, but the rebuild is happening and it's been happening. It's just not as quick as people would like for it to.
Oh yeah, I agree, man. I agree. But you got a run? Did you say, Kev?
Yeah. Apologies, guys. I have got a dash.
No worries,
it was good to speak to you all. Big up to everyone in the chat. Hit the like
man.
button, and I'll be back.
Good to see you, Kev.
Cheers, fellas. Take care.
See you later on. Yeah, it's just I don't mean to go at people, and everyone's welcome in the chat. You guys know the chat. You can have your say. We don't have to agree on anything. We really don't. And I just wonder where we're going as a society. I do wonder where we're going as a society. Would we be all happier if we spent 300 million this summer, but we bought everyone we've already got for 100 million each? Would everyone be like, oh my God, look how much we're spending? But they're the same players. So we went and bought Szoboszlai for 120. We bought McAllister 100 million. We spent like 80 million on 90 million on Lavia. Would then the fan base go, oh my God, we almost spent 100 million this summer on 3 players? But then if we bought them 3 players, but I told you, oh, we actually bought them for 35, 60 and 45, it's still the same 3 players. So where's the, why we like this now? Oh, we've only spent 100 million. Yes, we need centre backs, guys. I agree with all of you. Me and came out on the channel. I did the show the other day and I said, apart from Virgil and Canate, our centre back options suck horse dick. They just do. They're crap. Yeah, Matic can't defend no more, and Gomez, I don't know what's happened to him. Yeah, so our defensive options underneath that are terrible. But guess what? I'm not the manager, guys. I'm not the manager. We don't know what. So we got this thing that we all know what Jurgen Klopp is thinking, and this is where we go into dangerous territory. We all know what Jurgen Klopp's thinking. Now, me, K-Mac and Baz, and some of you in the chat, we might not rate Joe Gomez. We might think, nah, he's not that player anymore. He needs to go. But Jurgen Klopp might think there's still something about Joe that I can get out of him. I don't want him to leave just yet. Because in my opinion, if Klopp didn't think that he should leave, guess what? He wouldn't leave. And the reason I'm saying this, again, if you tell me to listen to Jurgen Klopp wanted to keep Jordan Henderson. His quotes before the game the other day that everyone always tells me, listen to Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp's quotes the other day was, I wanted to keep Hendo, but Hendo wanted to go.
This is what I talked on the show with you, Baz, about.
This is where
it's a pointless comment. It's a throwaway comment for me. Don't need it.
This is where I'm like, yes, the owners, I would like the owners to do more. I would like the owners to go, here, Jurgen, don't worry about that defensive centre-back issue. We'll go and get you a centre-back. Everyone's going, oh, we got to go and get Govedal. Right, this is where I talk. This is what annoys me. I'm getting irate now. Football Twitter does my absolute head in because most people have only watched Govedal 10 times in their whole life. And they've gone, right, go and spend 80, 90 million on him. Go and spend 90 million on this guy because he's the next big thing. He's special. How many times you watched him? 5 or 6 times? Oh, okay, great. 90 million because Keith off Twitter told me he's watched him 6 times and he's the next big thing. He doesn't know the other 30 games he played that he might have been average in and not too good in, but he's watched them 6 games and he's tremendous. We overrate. We all overrate footballers nowadays on social media. Content creators doing this job. We all overrate footballers so much these days. And then we underrate players. We are tremendous at underrating our own talent in this club. Because I keep seeing it all the time. If Jurgen Klopp weren't in charge of Liverpool right now, we would struggle finishing the top 8. We would struggle finishing the top 8 with the players we got. Really?
No chance. Chance.
I mean, come on. I mean, what are we doing here? Klopp is a world-class manager, and I'm not saying he ain't. He has faults. We all don't know secretly what Jurgen wants and what he doesn't want. We just don't. We have no idea. We can all pretend that Jurgen wants this. Of course, Jurgen wants to spend more money. What manager don't? But then I'll go back 2 years before that and go where Jurgen said in a press conference as well. It's not always about how much you spend. It's how you spend it and how good they are in training. Yeah, and how well they adapt to your football team. That he's always said that. So again, I always go to Jurgen Klopp's comments and quotes that people tell me I've got to do, and when I throw it back at you, you don't like it.
I've got to go soon as well. Can I just touch on that, Jamie?
The owners haven't backed him enough just yet. But we can't sit here and pretend they haven't bought him exceptional talent to do his job at this football club. It's not our fault, right, that the ball against Man City was that much away from being a goal where we would have won the Premier League and Champions League double that season. Yeah? That's how much we missed out on winning that Premier League, boys. 97 points. Are you telling me Klopp weren't backed enough that season? We came second on 97 bloody points and won the Champions League. He must have had a quality squad. And if the ball went that much more over the line, we'd have won a Champions League and Premier League double that year. Following year, we won a Premier League again. We'd have won back-to-back Premier Leagues. So obviously he had world-class players to do his job, to take that team to that level. Does he always get backed continuously? Maybe not. No, I agree. But do we know deep down that ain't down to the manager or ain't down to the owners? Because we've got to stop thinking we all know what Klopp wants. Go on, K-Mac.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I just had to get out of my poxy.
Okay. Have you got your blood pressure tablets? Yeah. My God, mate! Don't give yourself a heart attack before your birthday. Okay, so what we do know about Klopp, though, okay, is we do know that he likes small squads. Okay, we know that. We know he doesn't like big squads, so we're not going to sign loads and loads of players. That is a fact. Okay, and we also know that he doesn't like changing too much. So if you picked a formation, you're probably going to stick with it. And if you've only seen him play 2 formations, then that's probably all you're going to get. You're not going to get anything new. You're not going to get anything out of the blue. You know, he doesn't surprise you. Okay. Now, the thing about it as well is we also drew against Everton as well, by the way, which could have won us the league if we'd beaten Everton, just to make a point on that. We have got world-class players, and we did buy players that became world-class. But he doesn't buy world-class players. That's just not his thing. He buys players and then they become world-class in a Klopp team and working in a Klopp formation. That's what's happened all the time. When he bought Alisson from Roma, that was a risk. Like, Alisson wasn't even the first choice goalkeeper at the time. The guy from Arsenal was. Yeah. So, you know, there's a few risky signings for me, but they turned out to be brilliant signings. And a lot of the signings that we've made have all been really good signings. There's not many duds. Like, there really isn't many duds. Like, Naby Keita is probably the only real dud for me, if I'm honest, out of all of the signings. And that's saying something, isn't it? Can you honestly say most clubs can sit there and go, over the last 7 years, there's only been one signing which wasn't successful? That's a brilliant track record for me.
I agree.
So we have to trust who we're signing. And if we're signing players for 35 million, that everyone goes, oh, they should be 80 million. Well, we got a good deal. Just roll with it. Be excited about it. But like I said before, I feel like we are 1 or 2 players away from having a really special season.
Yeah, I agree.
Because there's a lot of teams in transition.
Yep.
There's a lot of teams that have had a lot of change. But I feel like we are only 1 or 2 players away, and I feel like it won't be done because we haven't made that extra player, that extra midfielder, that extra defender. And we've suffered for this so many times that I just hope it isn't going to be another season or 2 seasons where we're that close again because we didn't make that extra player signing and just spend that extra 50 million, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
I just hope that we don't make that choice again, and it's a wrong choice. It has been in the past as well.
Yeah, look, I agree with everyone. And I even agree with people in the chat. I do agree with people in the chat. Klopp is a genius, and I'm not saying he ain't. But he's not the miracle worker everyone thinks he is. Because if he was a miracle worker, we would have won the league last season. Simple as that. If he was a miracle worker. What he is a world-class manager that had a world-class squad at the time. And it gelled together beautifully. Yeah? We can't sit here and go, for me, Pep Guardiola is the best coach and manager in world football, without a shadow of doubt, right? He just is, yeah? But it's not about the money. Yeah, people will diss Pep all the time. People will go at Pep Guardiola all the time. Oh, he's only that good because of the money. Can you imagine Klopp with that money? Well, you're never going to know because we probably never going to have that kind of money. So we're never going to find out. But we can't then diss Pep's record in football just because he's having at Bayern Munich with money, Barcelona with the squad he had, and then Man City with the money he's got. and just say, "Oh, that's the reason." No, it's because he's a world-class manager. He made Ake into a quality defender. Look how he's coached John Stones. You know, can we?
Ake's world class for me now.
Yeah,
by the way,
we
Ake's world class for
we
me.
can't. The Klopp is a world-class manager. He does world-class things with the players he's got, but the players he's got are also world-class footballers or quality footballers that he gets the best out of. Yeah, it goes hand in hand. Now, do I think Liverpool need a centre-back? For me, go and get a centre-back and Lavia deal sorted. If FSG want to be serious this season and give Klopp everything he wants, go and get him a centre-back and go and get him a the Lavia buy. Go and get Lavia sorted. And then I'll be happy. I think most of us will be happy. But if it's not the defender everyone wants or the midfielder everyone wants, everyone's disappointed. I remember when we bought Gakpo in January. Why we bought Gakpo? It's not that good. Why we bought Gakpo? And now everyone's like, Gakpo can't be dropped. I remember when we bought Mo Salah. I was on Coppish when we bought Mo Salah. And a lot of people were going, why we bought Mo? Is he even going to get in our side? Why have we bought a Chelsea reject? He's now one of Liverpool's greatest ever players. He's arguably Liverpool's greatest ever right winger in our history. We got to sometimes trust what everyone's doing behind the scenes.
That's in 6 years, by the way. Just let that sink in. That's in 6 years.
And we got to trust. I think we just got to trust what the club is doing behind the scenes to what. Yes, we play. FSG are different owners. They look for value in the market, and the problem with value in the market is that if there's no value in the market, they won't buy players, right? That's irritating, and I'm not going to lie to you guys in the chat. That is irritating, yeah, because we all want to buy players, but at the same time, Jurgen Klopp won't take any player. Why do you reckon Arthur Melo never kicked a ball at Liverpool? Because Klopp didn't want him. Yeah, Klopp won't just take any player. He don't like it. He'd rather wait for the right talent to be available than go and get it. Yeah, like everyone goes about the Jude Bellingham stuff, this, that, and that. As soon as Real Madrid, I don't mean that. Yeah, if Liverpool were ambitious, they would have got Jude Bellingham. Well, why weren't every club in Europe ambitious then? Why weren't Man City ambitious? Why weren't Man United ambitious? Why weren't Barcelona ambitious? Why weren't Chelsea ambitious? Why weren't Arsenal? You know, why weren't any all these clubs ambitious? Got Jude Bellingham. Maybe it's because he wanted to go to Real Madrid. Maybe it was. Too much stuff gets leaked out. Liverpool want Jude Bellingham. Liverpool want Jude Bellingham. Liverpool probably did want Jude Bellingham because he's quality talent. Am I upset we didn't get him? Yeah, I was upset we didn't get him because we put a lot of effort into Jude Bellingham. And I blame the owners for that. I've done video on it. Go back and look at my Jude Bellingham video. I blamed the owners, guys. I'm just sitting here. What irritates me, my whole gist of this, guys, is that the fan base pretend we've got nothing but dead wood in our football club. That every one of our players is terrible and Klopp's never, ever been backed. Because that is not true. Because we wouldn't won Premier League and Champions League. And everyone keeps, oh, it's Klopp's genius, it's Klopp's genius. Well, you do know you've got to have quality players to win these competitions, yeah? It's just a madness to me. I think Klopp probably wants more, but he knows. This is the way I look at it. I've done this down. This is the way I look at it. Jurgen Klopp obviously wants more, yeah? Because he's a manager. Managers want more, right? But he also knows, and he knows better than me, he knows better than Baz, he knows better than everyone in the chat right now, how FSG do business. He doesn't know, he knows more about this than any of us, yeah? He knows we look for value in the market. He knows what players we sort of fish around for, what price range, what age range, what personality type, all this sort of stuff, yeah? So that's why he's willing to wait. This is why I say, if Klopp weren't happy with all that scenarios, guys, he would leave the football club. Yeah, he's a man at the end of the day. He's a manager, and all this FSG are ruining Klopp's legacy. Do you reckon Jurgen cares? Do you reckon Jurgen sits there at night and goes, "Oh fuck my legacy if I stay here, my legacy"? He don't give a shit. When Jurgen retires, he'll look back at it and go, I managed my hometown team in Mainz and got them promoted for the first time in their history. Tick. I took Dortmund from the basement and took them to back-to-back German leagues. Double tick. I went to Liverpool, took them from the basement, Premier League, Champions League. Double tick. His legacy's set in stone. Yeah, FSG ain't really nothing, guys. It's just... I don't know how much money we've got to spend, Baz, for everyone to be happy. I really don't, because I'm looking at... I think the Declan Rice deal this summer is really what's put Liverpool fans over the edge, right? Because Arsenal gone and got Declan Rice. I can guarantee you right now, 2 years ago, half the Liverpool fan base would have laughed if you told them we were going for Declan Rice.
Yeah. You know what, Jamie? To be fair, look, the one concern that I have, look, someone made a valid point in the chat. I think it was oh God, who was it again? Andrew Lane. Big up to you, bro. I'm more inclined to have that one where it says he has more faith in Klopp than he does in.
Yeah, we all do. We all do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you saw it, Andrew, but we were on a show yesterday where I wasn't slating Jurgen Klopp, but I was just saying he's the better manager in terms of what he's achieved so far. Do you know what I mean? But look, those two, the owners and Jurgen Klopp, I keep saying it, and I think Cal has said it on Coppish as well, and big up to him. They're in the same bed. Now they know what's going on. Yeah. Me personally, I'm concerned about our defense this season so far. I mean, forwards, we're blessed. Midfield, I think we can get maybe one or two more in. You know, ideally, I want 3 players in by the end of that's not going to happen. I know that. We definitely need defenders because we are still playing this high line. We're still playing this high line, and the inverted thing worries me a little bit because when I look at Ibu is a young, promising, not promising. He's a young defender with a lot of talent. He's having to cover a lot. He's doing two defenders jobs, and then you've got Trent who has to do two jobs as well, playing in midfield and getting back. For me, we do need a little bit more, and we don't need to go and spend huge money. You know, we've seen examples like Vega. He's at 35 million. Ugarte was around a similar sort of price. Thuram, you know, you can get these 3 players. You know what I mean? And it's just touching 100. We have 3 players and quality players that we can make into world class because that's what we do for the price of a Declan Rice. So we don't have to spend big, but we do need to look at where we are. And you know, with the Jurgen Klopp thing. Look, the sentimental thing, we'll just leave that alone. But he does keep players a little bit longer than they should, and I think that's one of his faults. And if we do have a little bit more squad in depth, if you're going to give youngsters opportunity, listen, I'm all for youngsters getting opportunity. Look at a young defender that's been playing in pre-season. He's been brilliant. But is he going to get that opportunity? If he's not going to get that opportunity, we do need to bring something in. We don't need to go and buy Gravadal. But, you know, if he is the right player, yeah, then you can do a deal for him. You don't have to go and spend 100 million on him. You can, eventually you will. But, you know, if you do like 40 million up front and then like, I don't know, whatever to get the player in and the right player like a Van Dijk. We don't want anyone apart from Van Dijk. And he got lucky there. You know, yes, there was tapping and stuff like that, but we got him over the line and he's been brilliant for us. I just think we do need some players, but we don't need to go and spend big. And there is players out there. There are players out there that you can scout for. Because I was saying in the other show, we found the Jude Bellinghams when they were young. We just let them just go away. It was the same thing with Dele Alli. You know what I mean? At one stage, just I know Dele Alli's not great anymore and stuff like that. But we identify players. But the problem, what we do is we wait till they're too expensive. And we identify them from before. But we wait. And then that's what the problem is. We end up spending. And then finally, when I look at what we had, I mean, this thing with Henderson, and I've got nothing personal with Henderson. I wish him all the best, in his new club. But, when you hear things which sound very accurate, Yeah. But when you're hearing that Jurgen Klopp intervened to get that 5-year deal, when the science side of things was saying that, look, he's not going to get any better. And then you got people like the Edwards, who probably of recent times has been the best sporting director, leave because he wasn't happy about this situation. And they ain't going to say that in media, but if something is good, why change it? And I really believe that had a big impact. And like now we're going to get situations with people who are temporarily just bringing in 1 or 2 players. They're not fully committed. So I'm a bit concerned, but I think we definitely need players, and we can get players. Just that, look, we've proven we can get some gems. Cody Gakpo was under 40 million quid. You know what I mean? We can get some gems, and I think it is possible, man.
Yeah, I agree. Look, and I agree with a lot of people in the chat. I really do. Yes, we like Andrew says. Yeah, I agree, people. I do. I'm not disagreeing with anyone in chat. Every time Liverpool have spent big, they have sold big name players. I'm surprised Salah's still here. Look, I'm not saying that ain't part of the regiment. That's what FSG do. That is the system they work with. I disagree with that a little bit. If you look at a lot of our squad, Mane left at the right time. I'd say Fabinho left at the right time. Henderson's left at the right time. We never sold them in their peak. We never sold Mane when his value was worth over 100 million. We never sold Fabinho when his value was probably 70 to 80 million at his peak. We let them go when they were more likely at the end of their career at Liverpool, and I think they let them go at the right times. But I do agree with you. At the same time, Liverpool got a system. FSG got a system in the way they buy players. All I'm saying is that big windows. What's a big transfer window? So to me, guys, I'll let you know right now. A big transfer window to me is not how much you spend. It's who you spend it on and the value of play you're buying, right? So West Ham this summer could go and spend 300 million for all I care, right? And they probably won't buy a player that is better than what we bought this summer. So for me, we still had a bigger window. You went and got Mbappe on loan, yeah? There's no transfer fee in that. So it would say 0 in the next spend, yeah? Right? But you got Mbappe on loan for a year. It's still a big transfer window, but nothing spent, yeah? Nothing spent on the net spend. That would be negative net spend. You still get the net spender saying, oh, Klopp still didn't get 100 million net spend, but you got Mbappe on loan. No one's ever happy. No one's ever happy. Big money don't matter to me, guys. And there's special talents out there, yes. Will Liverpool ever go about Haaland for 50 million? No, because his wages are almost $1 million a week. So they're not going to do that, are they? Can't afford it. Simple as that. Would I love him in my team? Yeah. But it's not like Salah don't score goals. Do you know what I mean? Mo Salah's been top goal scorer in England for like most of the time he's been in England. Yeah, so we've got a goal scorer there. We've got other goal scorers at the club. I would like players. Gvardiol is a very good player. He's extremely overhyped. And I'm not saying overrated, guys. I'm saying overhyped. Because everyone's going on about him like he's the Maradona of centre-backs. But Liverpool found a cheaper version to Gvardiol. But because his name's not Gvardiol, but he's a cheaper version and he's just as good, are you going to criticise that transfer? So Liverpool went and bought a centre-back, yeah, for 40 million, guys, yeah? Liverpool went and bought a centre-back for 40 million, right? And he's every bit just as good as Gvardiol, but Gvardiol went to Man City for 90 million. Are you going to be bothered by that? Or is it because he's not the name? Because it's not Gvardiol. But as a footballer, he's every bit as good as Gvardiol. But he cost you 40 million. Is that a problem? Or is it a problem because he's not Gvardiol? That's what I don't get, Baz. That's why I get confused now.
Yeah, look, Salah wasn't our first choice. It was Brandt, like that. But we got him, less of the price as well, and he's been brilliant for us. Inaccio's another one. Someone put up here as well. Inaccio's another guy who can offer us a better, situation in defense and stuff like that. So these players are cheap, and we can, we've got a manager who can turn these players into world-class players. That it happens, and We need to look at that. We're not going to be the Man Cities for now or the Chelseas for now. But what we are, we've got a good club, one of the greatest clubs around. We've got a good manager who can bring out the best in these players. We can get these smart buys. Yes, obviously, all Liverpool fans, we're going to want to compete to buy the Mbappes of this world or the Jude Bellinghams of this world. But we're not that club at this moment. And yes, FSG are a problem, and the thing is, we can buy smart buys, and not all smart buys are bad buys. You know what I mean? Look at McAllister, for example, 35 million, man, and he's brilliant so far. We can go out there and find players. Yeah.
I agree. Look, guys, and I agree with everyone in the chat as well. Klopp does deserve more. We know he does, right? We know he does, right? And they sometimes leave him a little bit short because he is a quality manager. And he shouldn't stand for that at the same time. This is what I always say. And I know people say Jurgen shouldn't slag his owners off in press conferences and stuff like that. And I agree, you shouldn't. But he shouldn't stand for being used, yeah? He shouldn't take being used, which is why I always say sometimes maybe we get it wrong. The perception of it is what we get wrong. That sometimes Klopp is quite happy with what he's got. Of course, he'd always want more, but maybe he's thinking more realistically, knowing that we just can't financially do what Man City do. We can't financially do that. That's just not what we can do. And I know everyone will bring the Arsenal argument up. Now, Arsenal's owner are richer than John W. Henry. They just are. And I think all their franchises have won something. So they're obviously better owners in that way, right? And but we compete on our level, guys. The way we compete is that we find diamonds. We find value for money. And it might not always be the big name that everyone wants, yeah? It might not always be the big name everyone wants, but once they come to our football club and you watch them for the first time and you sit there and go, damn, that's a pretty good footballer. I can't believe we got him for 30 million. I can't believe we got him for 40 million when Man United and that are spending like 100 million on Anthony and stuff like that. Liverpool could have gone and got Anthony for 100 million, yeah? And the fact a lot of Liverpool fans will be like, all right, bloody hell, FSG are back in Klopp for once. Just went and bought Anthony 100 million. Or we could have gone and done the right thing and bought Cody Gakpo for 40 million, which is the far better footballer and suits the way we play better under Jurgen Klopp's system. And then everyone's sitting there now going, I don't know, Cody's undroppable. He's just undroppable right now. He's that good. He's special. So this is where we're at. This is where we're at. We do value for money, and I'm not saying it's the right thing. I'd love FSG to turn out their pockets and go, right, here's Jurgen. Don't worry about value for money right now. Here's 200 million. Go and get your centre back and whatever else you need, yeah? I'd love that. We all would. Todd Bowley is pissing money. Yeah? Todd Bowley is pissing money over at Chelsea. But they've also got Saudi backers who are their investors. This ain't coming out of his money. This ain't coming out of his pockets. They're coming out of the Saudi investors that have got an investment group with Chelsea Football Club. That's why they're spending so much money right now. They're spending more money. Chelsea are spending more money than they did under Roman Abramovich. And Roman Abramovich was worth 6 billion and he was paying everything off on his own. He was an owner literally spending his own money. Chelsea didn't make money. Roman just bought everyone when they needed it. And they're spending more money now because they've got backers. They've got investment behind them.
And it's still balancing. Sorry, Jamie. And they're still balancing because they're signing these players, but they're getting rid of a lot of players as well. The deadwoods.
Yeah. Exactly. They're just throwing money away, man. And I know there's a lot of Liverpool fans who said they want to take a lot of the Chelsea players that Chelsea have bought. And they're laughing at them. They bought Modric for 100 million. We bought Diaz for 50. In the Liverpool community, who would you rather have right now? Modric for 100 million or Diaz for 50? This is what I'm saying. You can't always go on the name. We're not Tommy Hilfiger FC. You can't always go, on the name of the player, because they got a big name and this sort of thing, and they might not be a good player. sometimes value in the market is what Liverpool are excellent at. And we always sit here, when we do business, we always usually sit here and go, shit, Liverpool do some of the best business when they do business. You know, everyone's over the moon with Szoboszlai for 60 because he's going to be worth double that in a year or two time. And McAllister for 35, everyone's happy with that. If we get Lavia in for under 50 for the years to come, he's going to walk that 50 million value. He's going to be well worth it. But then Liverpool know go and get a centre back. My only issue is there's two centre backs that all the Liverpool fan base want. The guy from Sporting Lisbon and Gavardol, yeah? If we get another defender that is not them two players and we only spend 20, 30 million, but they're equally as good, for me, that's not a problem, Baz, at the end of the day. Not a problem.
Absolutely. When you look at it, if we did get Jude Bellingham in, and a quality player, by the way, we won't have enough to get a McAllister. You know, we bought two. And they're gonna, and both of them, you know, if played in the right way, gonna be brilliant signings for Liverpool. But you can't 95 million.
Yeah, look, I agree with everyone else as well. Like a lot of people are saying it's not the name and all that; it's we need players through the door. There's not enough through the door already, and look, I can agree with that. Right? What I'm going to do quickly before we go. Right? I'm going to get Liverpool squad up. I'm going to get Liverpool squad up, guys. Give me a second, right? Give me a second. Oh, where are we here? Where are we? Just give me the team, you bastards. There you go, players and stuff. Right, let's get the players up. So, right. Oh, I don't want the under 23. Fuck off. Right, don't want the academy. Right. So, defenders. So, these are the defenders. But I'm going to list it out, guys. Actually, what I do, I share it on the screen. Share it on the screen. We can look at it together. There we go. Let's do this together. Before we finish up here, let's do this together. So, we've got Joe Gomez, Virgil van Dijk, Kanate, Tsimikas, Andy Robinson, Joel Matip, Nathaniel Phillips, Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's our defensive options right now. So, Trent, Phillips, Matip, Robinson, Tsimikas, Kanate, Van Dijk, Gomez. Right? For me, if we want to get another centre-back in, guys, one of Matip and Gomez have to leave. Simple as that. Because why we go with 5 centre-backs? Why we go 5 centre-backs? Because Klopp, how much does Klopp rotate? He's going to play Kanate and Van Dijk together as his main pairing. And I know a lot of people that always talk about you should never rotate your centre-back partnership. Your centre-back partnership should play the majority of the games, Baz. Is that right or wrong?
Agree.
Yeah, so if you want to play your centre-back partners as mostly as you can, why do we need 5 centre-backs? 6 centre-backs. So one of Matip and Gomez are going to have to go, right? And I agree with that because they're both shit. Right, midfielders. Obviously, this hasn't been updated. So we've got Fabinho's gone. We've got Thiago, Dominic Szoboszlai. Liverpool FC need to update their bloody thing. Thiago, Dominic Szoboszlai, McAllister, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Stefan Versatility. And this is where we need more names. So Thiago's quality, Dominic Szoboszlai's quality, McAllister's quality, Curtis Jones is good, Harvey Elliott's okay, and Stefan's good, right? So Liverpool need another midfielder there. There's no doubt about that. We're short in midfield right now, so we need Lavia to come in. And what I've been telling people is that Liverpool needs 7 quality midfielders. So you get Lavia in. Say we get Lavia in, guys. That's Lavia, Thiago, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Stefan Versatility. That's 7 midfielders. Now, I'm okay with that for this season, but the following season, we're going to need another midfielder. Forwards line, Luis Diaz, Darwin Núñez, Mo Salah, Cody Gakpo, Diogo Jota. That's arguably the best forward line in the Premier League, without a shadow of a doubt. That is arguably the best forward line in the Premier League. So when I look at the squad like that, guys, the squad's in good shape. We need a centre-back in, and I agree with everybody. We need a centre-back in. I'd, in fact, even take a centre-back over a midfielder right now, if that was the case. If we went and got a good, very, very good centre-back that come in, yeah? Ben Doak's been doing stuff good in pre-season. He might be part of the squad that a lot of people want him to be in the squad. Cody Gakpo can play in that midfield area, guys. You know, and it's about fitness as well. And it's about fitness. Now, Liverpool's problem is keeping players fit. Liverpool's problem has been keeping players fit. Now, what is it? Is it the training? I don't know what it is. It's the way we play. They're just running out of steam. But it's about keeping them fit. So what Liverpool need to do, they need to pick their best two centre-backs at the beginning of the season, Canate and Van Dijk. They play most of the games, yeah? Robbo and Sim McAllister fighting out for left-back positions. Then you got Trent at right-back, and you got probably Joe Gomez as his understudy at right-back, or a Connor Bradley or something like that, yeah? As their understudies at right-back. Then in the midfield area, Liverpool probably go and get a DM in Lavia. He's probably going to play as the main number 6. Then you got Stefan Barsetic as his deputy number 6. They're your two number 6s. You also can play Thiago there in a different kind of way. You got then McAllister, Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones, and Harvey Elliott as well in that midfield area. That's decent, yeah? Remember, we haven't got Champions League this year, so Liverpool can put most of their focus on Premier League only, right? And then you've got that excellent forward line. So for me, Liverpool go and get a defender in and another mid and get Lavia in for this season. I think we're all right. I do, because we've not got Champions League. Put all your efforts into the Premier League only, and I think that's an all right squad for Premier League only, Baz.
Yeah. Look, the midfield for me is still a huge concern. But I'd say it again. If we're going to give players from the youth an opportunity, then you need to give them the opportunity, and you need them.
Europa League, perfect for them.
Yeah, Europa League. But that's the thing, you know what I mean? Because we're going to talk up, you know, people are going to say we want to win the Europa League and we're favourites for it. Yeah. If you play some youngsters in there that don't have the experience, it can be difficult. But either way, you know, I'd rather them play in the Europa League, yeah. And if we lose that, yeah, it's better than losing it in the Champions League, because Liverpool will not do that in the Champions League by having youngsters, unless they're dead rubber games, give them experience, etc. They need to give them the opportunity. But if you're not going to give the youths opportunity, and we do have talent in the team, you know, we got the Ben Dokes of this world, we got the Clarks of this world, we got Basetiches and stuff like that. You need to give them the opportunity to become class players and stuff. But if you don't, you know, like I said, then we need to bring in players. You know, we definitely need another centre back, because I'm not convinced Robbo is fitting well in this system. You know, I'm not saying to sell him, but I'm saying that, you know, maybe we need someone that can adapt better. We also, you know, when you look at Matip is out next season. Like, you know, there's no contract. You know, so far there's nothing about a contract in there. Gomez, I think, is going to be a right back, understudy to a right back. I don't think they'll give Connor Bradley that much opportunities. But I don't think he's Liverpool level anymore. Thiago, brilliant player. If he's managed correctly, he needs to be managed. A lot of these players at a certain age who have got injuries or whatever need to be managed. I'm still concerned about the midfield. I think we still need, you know, if you, like what you said, if you got Ali, the best goalkeeper in the world, and you got Van Dijk and Ibu at the back, you need a strong spine. All right. Then in front of them, you need a good DM. We definitely need a good DM. We need to get in a DM for sure. And then maybe, I have a feeling next year they'll probably work on the defense. They probably won't invest this summer.
I think they're going year after year. So forwards have been done. I think they're going to do the midfield this season, and then another midfielder maybe in January or something like that. Because Liverpool go in that January market quite a bit now, you know, and Liverpool might look for another midfielder in January. I literally think Liverpool are keeping tabs on Ryan Gravenberch. I think because Bayern Munich don't want to lose him yet, and I think they're waiting to see how much he's used between now and January. Ryan Gravenberch isn't being used that much between now and January. I think Liverpool going for Gravenberch in January. Liverpool are trying to buy younger midfield talent. They're trying to get the midfield age down where it can go for the next 3 to 4 years as a unit. Klopp did this last time. He got Fabinho, Hendo, and Wijnaldum. Don't forget, they were in their mid-20s when we first got them, yeah? And they were at an age where they could go for the next 3 to 4 years. 3 years, 4 years, where that unit can just be a unit for the next few years and go. And I think that's what Liverpool are trying to do now by buying in younger talent from 25 and under in that midfield area to have a future for today, but for tomorrow as well, and go for the next couple of years with that unit. And that's why they're looking at Lavia. Look, the defensive midfield market is a young market at the moment. I know everyone's saying about Casado, but he's 21 himself. He's not exactly 28 in his prime. He's 21 himself. So, and you've got to understand the way Klopp wants to play. Klopp said this himself in pre-season in Germany. He said the way he wants to play, he wants to be the best team in possession, the best team in transition, the best team in pressing, and the best team in counter-pressing. So there might be some very good defensive midfielders out there that are around the same price as Lavia, 50 million or under. But if they're not as good on the ball as Lavia, and if Klopp wants to play that possession, counter-pressing game, then he's going to pick Lavia over a more experienced DM who can't do that pressing and passing game. So there's no point buying him. Remember, you've got to buy players to your system.
Yeah, but the thing is, Fabinho was a big part of our system, but he lost the legs and stuff like that, yeah? But, Amrabat at 27, for a nominal fee, because that's what he's costing, a nominal fee to Manchester United. Couldn't we have got someone in like that? Because he outshined £105 million certain Arsenal midfielder in that Europa or that Conference League thing. This, there are players out there. There are players out there at a nominal fee that you can. So long as we're looking, I don't care about the names. We definitely need quality, and we need a little bit of experience as well. Yes, I agree. We do need youngsters, and we do need promising youngsters to like the Lavias of this world. But it's a big responsibility on a 19-year-old that was fighting relegation for most of last year. Do you know what I mean? To come in and play for Liverpool with a new midfield as well that is still adjusting. It's a very difficult one. We need to get this right, definitely, because a DM is a must. I was also hearing rumors that Curtis Jones might be our new DM. I'm worried about that.
Yeah, he's been playing there in the six. I think Klopp's just trying to find situations for playing the six because we haven't got a six in yet. We should get this Lavia deal in. It takes time to do transfers, I understand, but we can't wait around too long. Get this Lavia deal done. Get him in. Look, Lavia had a whole year playing for Southampton last season. And he played really well. That's why Chelsea are looking at him. That's why Liverpool are looking at him. That's why Arsenal had a look at him. This ain't a dead footballer. This is a very good footballer with a lot of potential and a high ceiling that could do amazing things under Jurgen Klopp. There is no doubt about it. So I'm excited by that transfer. But we need a defender. We need to let either Matip or Gomez leave. I think we should let Matip go. Keep Gomez because of that homegrown factor, and he can play right back. Let Matip go. Get a defender in to take Matip's spot. And then you've got a good third choice centre back there that can rotate with maybe a Konate and a Van Dijk from time to time to give them a little bit of break, but they got quality to come in with it. That's probably for me is where she's going. Lavia is Prem proven. Exactly, Captain Sal. He is Prem proven. Played all year for Southampton. He's a decent player. I think January is one to keep our eye on as well. And Maverick, I've not said it's all Klopp's fault. I've not said it's Klopp's fault at all. Klopp tactically naive at times, yes. He proved that last season because he's no miracle worker. He's a human being who makes mistakes. But look at the players that he's coached well. He's not to blame. What I'm getting at with this video is, guys, what I'm trying to get at with this video before I go is that are FSG doing quite enough? Probably not, right? In my opinion, they're not. Yeah, I hold my hands up. FSG are not doing enough, right? But at the same time, when they do go in the market and buy players, they buy very good footballers because we can't sit here and say the players that they bought under the time with Jurgen Klopp and the whole system of FSG when it changed when Jurgen Klopp came to the football club, and Billy Hogan and Mike Gordon and all that had their positions at the football club changed, and Ian Dennis was in charge of doing all the stats and all that. Everything changed, yeah, and we became a better unit for in the transfer market to buy players, and we all know sporting director there was Michael Edwards doing bits at the time as well, finding gems for good prices and doing their jobs, and the scouts are top notch. The data, our data analyst was so good that Man United copied it and other teams took it. Right, that's how good it all worked for, guys. So that was all doing its business, and we bought very good footballers. We can't deny that. But I will say this: FSG will always do the minimal. They won't go one over it. So if Liverpool need 3 players, FSG will just buy 3 players. When in reality, they should buy 4 players. Right? That's what they always do and will always continue to do. But yes, they're leaving him short at the moment, but we have got good players in the meantime since they've been here as well. So we need to get another centre-back in. We need a centre-back in that Lavia deal. If we get Lavia in, guys, and a centre-back in, I think we're all pretty much happier than we were right now. I think we can all agree with that. But, guys, I'm going to have to leave it there. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I know we went through a lot there in that 2-hour video, and we went back and forth on stuff, but you're great guys in the chat. Much love to everyone in the chat. I love debating with all you guys. We can argue and all that, but we don't fall out. It's grown-up talk. I'll see you all back again here soon. Guys, I won't be on tomorrow, but I'll be back Wednesday morning for the watch-along for Bayern Munich, and it's my birthday Wednesday morning, so everyone be nice. So, guys, I'll see you Wednesday. Thank you very much all tuning in. Much appreciated. Much love to you. Much love to Baz. Make sure you go and follow Baz on all his socials and his channel. Guys, see you on Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your day and night. Bye-bye for now.